what's up guys? We're back again with a new Dark Goblin Goblin Drill deck to dominate ladder. If you disperse your units and get goblins everywhere, your opponent will be absolutely miserable. With goblin gangs and wall breakers rushing through, goblin drills getting directly on tower, and dark goblins having a super high attack speed and movement speed, your opponents will be put to the ultimate test, and they'll have to play their best if they have any shot of winning. If your opponent builds up a big push, you can cheaply defend with cannon and wall breakers that kite your opponent's units all around the map. Meanwhile, doing massive damage with your extra elixir. This is one of my favorite cycle decks to play in the new meta, so let's go jump straight to some games and assert dominance. Thanks to everyone that's using creator code SirTag to support the channel. Alright, so jumping into this game, let's get it. First things first, we want to test the waters with a Goblin Drill and see if our opponent has a Dark Prince or a Valkyrie in cycle. If they don't, it might take a lot of damage. Yo, he's going to go Zappies, free fireball value, and the goblins are going to pop and they're locking on the tower. That feels fantastic. And that's why Goblin Drill is one of the best win conditions in the game, if not the best one right now. Simply because if your opponent doesn't have the right card cycle, they're going to take devastating amount of damage. We can Valkyrie and then log, so then the Royal Hogs are going to stay within the Valkyrie splash. That's so clean. Easy value. I'm going to go Goblin Gang on the other side to try to bait out my opponent's log or arrows, so then the Dark Goblin can go and snipe on top of the flying machine. That worked out so well too. Let's go. And the Dark Goblin's going to lock on the tower with the Valkyrie tanking. Beautiful, baby. That's 1,500 damage right out of the jump. And we know what his card cycle is right now. He's going to have Barbarial and Fly Machine out of cycle. And he's likely going to end up having Rail Recruits if I had to guess. So what I'm planning on doing is I'm going to go for Wall Breakers and Goblin Drill. And if he goes in for a Goblin Cage, then he's not able to defend the Goblins right now. Oh, I thought he would Goblin Cage here and then not have anything for the Goblin Drill. Still don't think he has anything for the Goblin Drill. When they explode on the tower, that's 3 Goblins. That's way too much value for us. And we can go for a cannon to completely clean up the Zappies and also the Barbarians on the other side. Yo, cannon is such a good card. For 3 elixir, that cleanup was insanely valuable. Also, if he goes for a flying machine, you guys already know Fireball's on lock. We've got Valkyrie and we've got Log to clean up the Royal Hogs. I'm going to cycle my Valkyrie early to get back to another one. I don't think he gets a single hit with barbs. Oh, wow. Just tried to prove me wrong there. All right, I see how it is. I'm going to go Goblin Gang here, and I can log last second. I was just waiting to see if you want to go for Royal Hogs because I wanted to be able to get more value. Also, the longer you hold on to a card, the less perceptive your opponent is going to be to spamming in that side. So if I logged early, he probably would have had a plan to go in for Royal Hogs. But since he didn't see the log, he had to be wary of me potentially fireballing. But since I logged, I didn't have elixir for fireball. And then he's like, oh, wait, it's too late for me to go for Royal Hogs. Worked out really well for us. I'm going to go for a Valkyrie because this gives us more counter push than going for a cannon. And the cannon's going to be extremely nice at cleaning up all of our opponent's stuff. We could fireball here, but I just don't see the point in doing that. I'd rather go in for a Dark Goblin instead. And then maybe go for wall breakers off to the side and force out more elixir. Also, because he has Flying Machine, and we knew that the fireball would give us more value. Yo, wait, the Valkyrie's going to give us a win condition. No way. 2 hits. Hitting home runs out here. Okay, I can go in for another Dark Goblin. We know that he's going to have to go in for a very aggressive stance. I unfortunately wasn't able to get back to a stupendous answer to him, but I can go in for Goblin Gang afterward. And because the Goblin Gang has a lot of Spear Goblins, it's a menacing threat for any air card. Like, we will do enough damage to the Fly Machine that it's not going to be able to take our tower. I can go for a cannon last possible second to tank for the Fly Machine and also finish off the Barbarians, which is absurd value again. We know he's likely going to go in for something else, but with 2 seconds remaining, there's no time left, bro. That was way too easy. And the Dark Goblin at the start, giving us 1,500 damage lead right out of the jump, completely carried us to victory. All right, we got a game against Kimmy. So first things first, we want to go for a Goblin Drill and just pray that our opponent doesn't have either a Valkyrie or a Dark Prince, and then we'll prey upon their tower. We'll be the apex predator, but unfortunately that doesn't happen. They go for a Dark Prince. I might be able to bounce it back with the logs so the Goblins can lock onto the tower. Wow, I timed that really well. I go for a Dark Goblin here. Can I kill the Dark Prince? I think so. I don't think it's going to be able to damage my tower. Maybe I'm wrong. Oh, that was painful. I really thought that was going to work. Well, 2 good interactions going back to back would maybe just be too lucky for me. I did bounce back the Dark Prince originally, but I wasn't able to stop all the damage with it. If I fireball here, oh baby, that's insanely good. That was so satisfying. I didn't even need the fireball. I didn't have faith in the wall breakers, so I was like, there's no way that he's going to give me infinite value with 2 elixir, right? I killed skeleton dragons. I basically butchered the lumberjack. And that guy donated 8 elixir to 2 there. And the bleeding doesn't stop there. He's going to give me even more value. The Green Goblin Gang is made of money. And this guy is going to go in for a Dark Prince to try to counter this and then have very little elixir left over. So the funny thing about this is we kill almost all of the elixir collectors. So even though he dropped the Dark Prince, I'm pretty sure he got a terrible trade there. maybe I can go in for a Dark Goblin and then follow up with Wall Breakers afterward. I think this is a Scuff 3 Musketeer deck, or is it Golem? Nah, I think it's got to be Golem, actually. So I'm going to go Wall Breaker since he just dropped his Barb Barrel. I think the Dark Goblin isn't going to get hit. Let's go! That was so smart from us. And the Dark Goblin stays alive, too. That's hilarious. Best part is, Barb Barrel and Dark Prince are both out of cycle still. So you guys already know what I'm doing. I'm going to drill to victory. We're going to be the dentist that this man never wanted to see. So he's going to have to defend this with Skeleton Dragons and Lumberjack. And that is going to be so much damage. Oh my gosh. Everything is going into a Valkyrie and it's all going to die because the tower is like, hey, Jake, I'm going to help you out. I know that the Skeleton Dragons are a bit of a problem in the air, but we don't care because the Princess has got those elevated tactics. Okay, so he's going to have Dark Prince again in cycle. I want to go for Dark Goblin here, and maybe I can get him to Dark Prince. Oh, that's a bit unfortunate. We can pull this back so that he doesn't get any damage on our tower. And then I think I can go in for a Goblin Drill. Oh my gosh, wait, why is he doing that? I'm pretty sure you're not allowed to do that. Like, I'm 90% positive that that's a crazy play. I'm going to go in for a Valkyrie here so that the Dark Prince doesn't charge. And then I think he loses the Lumberjack. And then we can go in for a Wall Breakers here afterward because he has to go for an Electro Dragon to stop this. If you go for an Electro Dragon, maybe we can even snipe it with a Dark Goblin. Oh my gosh, the Wall Breakers are maybe going to connect. Oh my gosh. This is too funny. Yo, his deck right now is my main deck in Clash Royale, and we are just destroying it. I feel like if you played a deck that your opponent's playing, you know its weaknesses, so you can tear it apart. So I'm going to go for a Goblin Gang off to the side so the Lumberjack goes towards that. He actually activated King Tower, so he is one wild child. And I do not think he's having a good time right now. So we're going to probably put him out of his misery. And I'm going to go in for a Goblin Drill here, Wall Breakers afterward. I think that the Dark Goblin is able to finish off the Skeleton Dragon. That's a problem. The other one isn't going to be. And then I can go in for a Log and a Fireball. I'm going to damage down the Dark Prince with a Log, and then we're able to Fireball to hit its hull, but didn't even matter. We took out the tower with the Fireball too. GG, well played, and peace out. That was incredibly easy, despite him having Tornado and Barb Barrel as small spells for all of our bait cards, and the Dark Prince to counter our Goblin Drill. As you guys can see, this cycle deck beats down any beatdown deck. Golem doesn't stand a chance. This deck is just feeling so good. So I'm going to go for a Goblin Drill right out of the jump, pray that our opponent doesn't have a counter, and yet again, they've got a good answer. So Bomber, sometimes it misses. Unfortunately, it doesn't whiff there. Sometimes the Goblins will lock directly on the tower. Hey, it's a new one. It's another Golem in the back, but it's a different type. He's got Bomber, so he's an evolved individual. I think we can go Wall Breakers here and push the Valkyrie closer to the tower, and both of them should connect. Oh, he's going to zap. That was a very smart strat. Okay, I can go for Cannon last possible second, and then not leak any elixir and pull the Golem as far as we possibly can. So I'm going to go for Dark Goblin off to the side here and see what he decides to do. And I'm going to go for Goblin Gang here. And the reason why I'm doing that is so he doesn't get arrow value, because we didn't know if he was going to zap plus arrows or what his game plan was. So we're able to get a lot of damage with the Valkyrie and the Goblins on the counter push. So I want to be able to build up a dual lane pressure here. Spear Goblins, Valkyrie. Let's see if you go Bomber. Let's see if you do it. If you don't, then I guess it's like, is he just going to eat the Valkyrie damage? Going to mini P.E.K.K.A. All right, this is fine too, because what I can do is I can go for a Goblin Drill here. And then I can go Wall Breakers to pull back the mini P.E.K.K.A. so it doesn't do any damage to my tower. And it also hopefully doesn't kill any of the Wall Breakers. That timing is not easy to do. A lot of people will mess it up. But guys, we messed our opponent up. Let's go. That's so clean. And we can log so he doesn't get a single mini P.E.K.K.A. hit. He will get 2 Mega Minion swipes, which isn't a big deal. I can also go for a Goblin Gang at the river and get him to zap. But then the Goblin Gang would die. So it's not like the best trade. So I want him to go Golem, and I want to go in for a Valkyrie, and I want to go Goblin Gang at the exact time that he goes Golem. And then if he zaps, he's going to lose his tower because the Goblins will stay alive. So it's going to be really bad for him because the Goblins will push the Valkyrie. And then also on top of that, the Spirit Goblins will stay alive. So yeah, this is nice. Or not the Spirit Goblins, the Stab Goblins will stay alive. We're going to go Wall Breakers so the Bomber doesn't be able to one-tap that. And then he goes in for a Bomber, which is not obviously very good for him. I think we can go in for a Cannon here, pull that, and then Fireball on everything here so we can kill the Lumberjack a little bit faster. Valkyrie, so then that locks onto the Valkyrie instead of the mini P.E.K.K.A. and locking onto my Cannon. And then he's not going to have arrows in cycle, so he has to go for a zap, so then we can pull everything with the Wall Breakers, and then we can go in for a Dark Goblin. So if you guys are noticing how I'm playing this matchup, this is actually a little bit more difficult since he has arrows and he also has zap. Arrows can shoot on my side of the map to go and kill my Dark Goblin, so that's why it's a little bit more annoying. But we're still playing it pretty well. I can Fireball on top of the Lumberjack, so as this explodes, the Goblins will give us more value since his units are disrupted, so they can't kill the Goblins as quickly as he was hoping. I'm not going to do much here. I'm just going to go in for a Goblin Gang. He has to go Golem. So if he goes in for a Golem with 13 seconds remaining, he will lose. So that's why I'm just going to continue to spam him right now. I'm going to give him the disrespect spam too. I'm going to go for this in front of the tower. Then I'm going to Fireball on top of the Bomber. So since the bomber's going to die, then he can't, like, stop all the goblin damage. And with 1 second remaining, that's going to be all she wrote. We are crushing every golem player today, no mercy. Even if they've got bomber, arrows, and zap, there's no chance. After dominating that game, we're 9,700 in the world. All right, we got a game against Mr. Wick. Is he John Wick right now? Is he going to come after me? Should I be scared? I'm going to go for wall breakers, and we're going to see what's happening. You guys already know the deal. Bats, if he drops those fast enough, he is able to counter them, and he does. Very good timing on our opponent's end. And unfortunately, he's going to have Ice Spirit, so he's going to get me stuck in a tricky card cycle right now. I want to go and support the Valkyrie with a Goblin Drill, and then have the Dark Goblin go in the other side, because it's going to be harder for him to defend this. Since the Valkyrie's tanking for the drill, we're going to be able to get a lot of damage with the Dark Goblin, because he just straight up ignored it. Oh my gosh. He's going to have Lumberjack Balloon, 100%. Whenever we see Lumberjack, it's one of two things. It's like a Hog Rider weird freeze deck, or it's going to be Lumberjack Balloon. And yeah, we're going to make sure that we finish off the bats first, I think. Wow. Wait, what? I'm pretty sure the bats just pushed it into my tower. Wow, that was insane. That cannon pulls like 100% of the time. But for whatever reason, the bats pushed the balloon into my tower. I think because the bats were targeting my spear goblins off to the side, then they were able to push it. Because I was wondering, why did the bats go towards that as well? But because I dropped spear goblins, I screwed myself over. So I guess we learned something there. Spear goblins, you're playing for the enemy. How much elixir were they paying you? I mean, I paid you 3. I thought it was a good elixir amount, man. But I guess you're greedy. I guess, you know, the enemy bribed you a little bit too much or something. All right, so he's going to go in for a lot of elixir here as well. We're going to go for wall breakers and split them and then go Goblin Gang and see what happens. The Goblin Gang could have been split as well. I think it's aight. I don't think it's the end of the world. He could get some damage with the Lumberjack, but I think the Barbarian Barrel is not going to give him anything, which is the main thing that matters because it's on the side that has all the damage already. If I go Dark Goblin, I'm going to drop it in the back, and then I can go for Valkyrie just to stop the Ice Spirit damage. The thing is, this is one of those few matchups that I feel uncomfortable in. If I fireball a log, it's just cost too much elixir. But if I don't kill the Musketeer, that could also potentially be a problem. I'm going to go for wall breakers with the drill just to keep up the aggression to force out more elixir. If he goes bats, I'm definitely going to fireball. If he goes barber, I'm not going to. I spent a lot of elixir with the snowball, so I'm going to go for Goblin Gang here. I can go for Dark Goblin afterward, and then I can go for a Valkyrie. He can't go in for too much of aggression because I have cannon and I also have Goblin Drill, so I could activate King Tower. Don't know if he knows that. I don't know if he's seen people do that before, but that is a play that I could do. I'm going to fireball and go in for the Goblin Drill. Fireball Goblin Drill does kill. And this does pull, as you guys are noticing. Like, it's a pretty good strategy to do that. When it works out, not all the time does it, but, you know, when it does, it's awesome. He should only get 1 balloon hit. That is not enough to take my tower, but it's still a lot of damage. I'm going to go in for a Goblin Drill in front. I'm going to follow up with Wall Breaker so that maybe he messes up and allows like the Wall Breakers to connect if I Barb Barrel counter with the log. Wait. One of them's going to connect for sure. And the Dark Goblin's still alive. Oh my gosh. What a broken card. What a monstrosity, my dudes. We're going to fireball this. And I'm going to Goblin Drill and I think I win the game. It's pretty much impossible for him to break through right now because the Valkyrie's going to block the lane. So he can't go in for a Lumberjack. If he goes in for a Lumberjack, he's just going to die the Valkyrie. So he has to be forced to defend. And then we just cycle to a fireball and we win. So it should be GG. No matter what you do, you're going to be in a state of misery. So we're going to cannon here up top just to make sure that if he goes in for a balloon, we're able to pull it on the right-hand side. We walk away with a very easy win. GG. Well played. Peace out. We'll pounce on the next one. Every single game today has been a W. We have been unstoppable today with this deck. And now we're 7,800 in the world. Let's get it. All right, so jumping into this one, I'm going to go for wall breakers and we'll see what's happening. You guys already know the deal. This guy is probably shaking in his boots, wondering why a psychopath would ever cycle the wall breakers in the back. Well, we're going to force you to drop elixir, and then the bats are just going to get countered. If you dropped like skeletons, we would just log them. If we had Goblin Drill, we could also drop that with the wall breakers. So it's way better to drop wall breakers in the back, wait for your opponent's responses because they have to cycle elixir, and then force out even more responses from the opponent. Wait, this is such a valuable log. Are you kidding me right now? That was no damage. Literally nothing. That's incredibly good. Wow, I think that Valkyrie just comes up clutch against mid-ladder decks or decks that have a lot of bait cards. Probably one of the best cards in the game to upgrade, especially as a rare card. You know, if you don't have many rare cards in your deck, I think this would be one to invest in. Maybe we can go in for wall breakers after that disperses. We can also go in for a fireball on the princess and then Dark Goblin on the bats again. Or we can go in for a Valkyrie with the wall breaker and maybe the Valkyrie gets pushed by the wall breaker. Wait, that Valkyrie is moving super speed. Wait, That's going to lock tower. Oh my gosh. Valkyrie win condition for the win. Let's go. One more swing. Hey, we take those. Giving us those W's here. Okay, if he goes Royal Hogs, we do have cannons, so we're going to drop that in the same side that you split most of the Royal Hogs in. Otherwise, we're just like pensively waiting for you to make the play. We are just getting our lead and hopefully going to keep it. I'm going to go for Dark Goblin off to the side so he can't hit it with a spell. Always make sure that you disperse your stuff. It's a little bit better to drop it in the middle if you know exactly what your opponent has, but if he had Fireball, I was going to take way too much damage. So rather have the Dark Goblin go in the right-hand side and give us more value and not bank on our opponent not having a spell. Okay, so the good thing about this matchup is also he doesn't have anything for the Goblin Drill in his deck besides like Mini Pecker or Goblin Gang, and his Goblin Gang is now out of cycle. So what I'm planning on doing is I'm going to go in for Goblin Drill in front, and then we're totally expecting him to log, so maybe I can go in for like this, and then this. So then he has to log on the Goblin Gang, and then he can't deal with everything at once. Really, really tough. Oh my gosh, he's fireballing. What is he doing? Look at the Goblin Gang. That is shredding his tower. Wait, we're taking the other tower too. What is happening right now? Am I just getting really good matchups right now? I think that might be the case. Like, these games have been so easy. Even when the balloon connected in the last game, it was just too easy for us to win. Like, even given the worst possible case scenario. So he has to pre-log the Goblin Gang. I don't know if he's going to do it. Okay, too easy to fireball that and clean it all up. And then the Valkyrie's going to be the win condition. Oh my gosh, don't let him lose to a Valkyrie. That's just sad, man. I got, Fireball, Wall Breakers, Dark Goblin that moves fast and does high damage. And I've even got the Goblin Drill, the most overpowered win condition in the game. And you lose to a Valkyrie. That's crazy. I guess Valkyrie just wanted to be a part of the fun. She was swirling around, and she swirled our opponent right down the toilet. This deck popped off with value in ways that I could never anticipate. Like, subscribe for more daily content, and have an incredible rest of your day.